This is the second part of CSS Cascading Style Sheet. On this video, we will have some examples on how to apply internal styling. We will write CSS styles between the style element within our HTML document. The example that we will use for this topic is the same example that we used in the part 1 video of this lecture. If you can still remember, we have this structure on our previous example. So we will apply internal styling to make this page look attractive. Okay, to begin, let's go to our Dreamweaver and apply internal styling. Between the head section of our HTML document, let's add the style tag. This is where we are going to define the styles that we want for each element on our page. So we want to target all H1. So meaning we want to apply styles for H1 element only. And to do that, let's write here H1 and let's change the color of our H1 to green. And together with that, let's apply a font family. Change the font family to Century Gothic. Save the changes, go to our browser, and then let's reload. So there you go. So we were able to apply styles using internal styles. Okay, so this time let's try applying styles to all heading 2 or H2. So let's add here H2, and then let's define the styles for H2. We want our H2 to have a color of orange and font family of Century Gothic. Save the changes, and then reload your browser. So there you go. Okay, the next, let's add styles for our paragraphs. Okay, go back to our Dreamweaver, and then let's target the body. Let's write here body, and then let's say the color of our body will contain a light gray color, and the font family, Sego UI, and the font size, it's 1.5 EM, and then with the line height of 1.5 EM. Save the changes, go to the browser, and then reload. So there you go. I guess we have to fix the line height. Okay, let's go back to our Dreamweaver, and then change the line height something like 1.2 and the font size to 1.2. Okay, go back to our browser and then reload. Okay, there you go. Our text is almost invisible, so let's change the color of our text. Instead of using light gray, let's use dark gray. Save the changes, go to the browser, reload. Okay, so next is to add a selector for our note here. Selector, what is a selector? Basically, a selector is like this: H1, H2, body. These are our HTML selector. What we are doing here is just we are selecting all H1 to have a color of green and the font family of Century Gothic. So what we want to do is to select that portion which contains the note. So we'll add here an attribute class, and then we will name this class note, and then we will select this class within our style tag to apply styles. So to indicate that we are referring to a class, we start with a prefix of dot, followed by the name of the class, which in this case is the note. And then let's define the rules for the styles that we want to have for our class note. Okay, we want our class note to have a width of 50%. So meaning when we say 50%, 50% of the size of the width of our HTML document. So 50% of the width of our HTML document. That is the meaning of 50%. Followed by a border at the bottom of our note that will have a 1 pixel size of line, a solid line with a color of green. And we will do the same thing for the border top. And then we will change the font family to make it different from the rest of the paragraph. So we will use here Arial, Arial narrow, and then the font size is around 0.8 em, and line height just around 1 em. Okay, and then save the changes, go to the browser, and then reload. So this is it. This is now our note. Now what we want to add is to put this at the center of our page. Okay, so let's modify this in our Dreamweaver and then change the line height to 1.5 or 1.2, I guess, and then define a margin for the left side that it will be set to auto, and then the margin at the right side to become auto. So when we define our left margin and right margin, the effect of this is that it will place our element at the center of our page. So let's save the changes, go to our browser, and then reload. So there you go. Okay, so one more thing, let's change the color of our note. Color red. Save, and then reload. There you have it. Okay, so I guess that's all for this video. And to summarize everything, what we did here is we add a style tag within the head tag of our HTML document, and then we define the rules of styles for each element that we want to target. We targeted the H1 to have this style, and we also targeted H2 to have this style, and the body to have this style. And then we defined a class, and that class name is node. Now to target the class node, we have to start with the prefix of that, followed by the name of the class. And then we define the rules of our styles. And finally, we were able to achieve this style. Okay, so there you go. That's all for this video, and see you in the next lectures.